Meghan Markle is obsessed with her title, the Duchess of Sussex, because we have another absolutely cringe-worthy display this week after Meghan Markle revealed through a reel that she has a bag that says DS on it. Now, it could be her assistant's bag, but I have a really strong feeling that it belongs to Meghan. And the DS stands for Duchess of Sussex. Meghan Markle has, I think, Duchess of Sussex stamped on every single thing you can possibly imagine, from rings to entryway mats to stationery to even pins for her employees. Every single thing you can think of, Harry and Meghan remain obsessed with their royal cipher more than any royal I've ever seen. And it demonstrates again, in my personal opinion, how disconnected Harry and Meghan are from reality and why they will never, ever be likable if they don't change. So we are going to get into this today. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany. I do provide compelling royal commentary, so please hit that subscribe button. I would absolutely love to have you back. And I usually do these videos where you can see my happy, shining face, but I'm having really hard time with my allergies today. So we are not doing that. We're just doing it, I guess, a little bit of the quick and easy way. But I really wanted to talk about this real quick because I saw the video. And if you haven't seen the video, we'll watch sort of the version Meghan showed, and then I'll show you the slowed down version of what we got. And it's so incredibly cringy. It's so cringy. It's so dumb. And it just signifies why people don't like Meghan. Yes, she technically has a royal title, but to shove it constantly down people's throats. And I imagine she does this a lot in her personal time with her employees, with everything. I think it shows sort of a disgusting level of entitlement for somebody who only worked technically 72 days in the royal family, who has spent 3 times longer outside it than in it since marrying her husband. Yet she can't let it go. And I will give some advice to Meghan. Until she can let this go, I don't think her popularity will get any better, because I don't think there's anything more sort of elitist than having a title and being obsessed with it. Because there's a lot of royals out there with higher titles than hers who I'm sure in most interactions just go by, hey, my name is Catherine, Victoria, Mary, Metamarit, Letizia. Like, those are our names. Where I'm sure Meghan, if you meet her, she wants you to call her the Duchess of Sussex, Your Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. For some reason, I have no doubt. And this is part of a pattern that we've seen. And it's one that Harry and Meghan try to hide, which I think is another reason I just find this so cringy, is that Harry and Meghan, they want to go, oh, just call us Harry, just call us Meghan. Well, it's like, well, why do you have a mat outside your house that has your royal cipher on it? Why is all your stationery have your royal cipher on it? Even stuff you send to promote items. Why? Why? You're not even a member of the royal family anymore, really. Why do you have a signet ring with your cipher on it? Why why do you have your staff members wear a literal pin with your siphon on it, as if to display them as if they are diplomats? They're not. They're just basically there to show your business interests. Let's be real here. Like, come on. Diplomats, if you're not aware, diplomats, people within usually those spheres, wear pins representing, so these are lapel pins, wear pins representing their countries, the countries they're visiting. When I was in Scotland, I did an internship up there. We had an American flag and a Scottish flag on a pin together that I took back because we were working at the US consulate there in Edinburgh. So for me, it just reeks of entitlement. And then we've seen the Duchess of Sussex on, I would argue, some very dumb things as well, which goes to show again that Meghan Markle has this very odd obsession with it, because she has a bag that says DSSOS. which stands for the Duchess of Sussex. It's a Lady Dior bag that she had monogrammed. And what's crazy about that is Queen Maxima of the Netherlands has a Christian Dior tote bag, and her name is quite short, Queen Maxima. There's only 5 more characters if you add Queen and then Maxima. There's plenty of space on that bag to add Queen. Yet she just put Maxima on it. And she's someone who could get Queen Maxima on her bag if she wanted to. But even though I think in some ways probably Maxima, yeah, she does probably have a sense of entitlement. Most royals, it's hard to avoid that, but they really try not to shove it in people's faces so much. And there's a certain level where you just try to be normal. What's wrong with having stinking Meghan on Meghan's Ladies Your Back? Why does it have to be DSSOS, which is stupid? It doesn't even make sense. Sussex would even make more sense. But Meghan Markle doesn't do the normal thing. She does the crazy thing. So let's look at this video. So guys, as well, despite the full court press this week, have Meghan's numbers increased on Instagram? No, it's still stuck at 4.2 and 4.2 and a half. So like she still has 50,000 plus more, well, not 50,000 plus, but she still has 49,000 to go before hitting her next level. And again, I think this reveals a stalling of everything and just sort of a overload. Because the thing is here as well, Meghan has overloaded everything. She has done appearance vomit the last 2 weeks. So what I mean by that, even when I mean content vomit, is she kind of vomits everything out at once. And it just is too much. She needs to space things out a bit better. She needs to be able to manage her stuff a bit better. But let's listen to this. And I find this very obnoxious. This woman has 9 to 5s playing along, which we won't play for copyright reasons. But think about this. This woman lives in a $16 million mansion. She has a bunch of assistants. No way in heck does this woman work a 9 to 5 at all. I've also watched her business. She does not work on that thing at all. It shows. So this whole 9 to 5 nonsense, give me a break. So we're in Washington, D.C. for this fortune event, and there we go. So we have a Tumi piece of luggage. Hey, no big deal. Tumi's a nice brand. I own Tumi. No problem. But I noticed the bag on top. And I remember seeing the video and going, wait, I need to screenshot this and really, really look at it because I think it's a DS. And this is a Longchamp bag that Meghan purchased with DS, Duchess of Sussex on it. Now, and the other thing too, and of course, royals often have people carry their stuff. I don't have like really celebrities do it too. Like that's not really a huge issue, but it also seems really tacky to show your assistant dragging your stuff around. That seems really tacky to me. It just reminds us that you won't do it. You always have your assistant because you're too precious to carry your own cargo. So there she's at the event. And like, how is this a 9 to 5? Seriously. It's not a 9 to 5. This woman doesn't work 9 to 5. She barely works at all, let's be honest. So she shares some jibber jabber that makes no sense to anybody with half a business brain. She hugs, she's departing. And oh, look, her poor, hopeless assistant there in the corner. We once again have the Duchess of Sussex bag. We're in some sort of elevator. And then Meghan's sticking out her tongue like a crazy psycho. Like, how is this attractive? You look like a child. Like, why are you sticking your tongue out at us? Like, lack of respect there. Oh, we get champagne. And we're in maybe a private jet, although I think this might be a commercial jet, to be quite honest. And she's just showing off, look, I get to meet with the pilots. Why does she need to meet with the pilots? You're a crazy psycho. Why do you think everybody wants to meet you? You're not that impressive. Like, come on. I have a thought that she's probably, but let's go ahead and look at, let's say, a shortened version of this or a slow motion version. Here we go, guys. DS, Duchess of Sussex. And there's her poor, hopeless, helpless assistant there. That poor woman. That must be one heck of a bad job there. with the Longchamp bag, caring for Meghan. Meghan has her purse, but of course her assistant is there to drag the rest of her crap around. Now, of course, it could be her assistant's bag. That's always a possibility. But again, we have a long history of Meghan trying to label any and everything with her titles. So I can show you exactly how she made this bag. It's not that hard. So if you go here to Longchamp and personalization. So this is the bag she has. You can actually, so there's shoulder bag, top handle, and top handle XS. I just want to see the size here. So I got basically this bag in the leather version when I was in Europe, and I actually really like it. So if you want a recommendation, I do actually recommend that. And I do like this size too, because that's a nice size. But she got this big travel size. And then this is what she did. So body, we have right here. And then we have trimming. So she got the brown finish. I think it's probably gold because she likes gold. She got DS and no periods in between. So we take that out. And then we put in bright blue with white. And I forgot the body is navy. So there is Meghan Markle's bag. $380. And there is a stamping here. So guys, she could have literally had Duchess written on it if she wanted to. You can't really tell in the video if she has it, but she could literally have Duchess written on the top of this freaking bag. And it wouldn't be a surprise. Now, if it was MS, Meghan Sussex, like, okay, I've been criticizing her for not keeping to that, but like that at least would have made more sense. The problem with Meghan, and the problem again that plagues her and Harry, is her obsession with the title. And yeah, it's cool. I get it. I totally get it. But you've left the royal family. You left. And you look ridiculous. You look kind of crazy and psychotic by obsessing over it so much. A little bit like Sarah Ferguson. You can really see the comparison between Sarah and Meghan here. Also obsessed with the title. And what it reminds me as well, and the reason why I think Meghan should get a heck of a lot of criticism for this is, number one, of course, leaving the royal family, only being in there really for a year and a half, destroying her relationship with them on the way out, burning the bridge, telling us all how much she hates the royal family, and then clinging desperately to it. There's something I think to most people that strikes them as really tacky and cringy about that. It's kind of disgusting, really, that you hate them so much and yet all you have is them at the same time. And you remind us of that. Number two thing here is that royals don't obsess over their titles in that way. It comes across as very, very strange. So Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has two pieces or like two items, you could say, because one item has multiple versions, I think, of her royal cipher on something. So the first is a bracelet that Camilla allegedly gave Catherine right before her wedding. And she doesn't really wear it very much, but it has a medallion with C and the coronet on top. So it's subtle, and she has one of it, and she didn't make it herself. The second, which I think is actually perfectly fine given the product that it is a portfolio from Smythson. And unfortunately, Smythson doesn't allow you to have a crown, so that must be something special, but she has her cipher on there, a C and a coronet on top. And if she has Princess of Wales on the bottom, I don't really find that to be an issue because generally what she does with this particular item is she brings it into meetings. So she has something monogrammed when she goes into meetings. I feel like that makes complete and total sense. It is a professional thing. Like I have some portfolios from Smythson. I do have one notebook where I got just a B on it for my name, Brittany. I just got a B put on it because you had to pay for every word. So I didn't want too many, but it just makes sense. It's something classy and it's just not in your face. I would have an issue if Catherine was constantly walking around with Princess of Wales on everything. And so the third issue about Harry and Meghan here is that we know what we've seen with their cipher on it. How much have we not seen? Because, guys, I would imagine they have plates, they have pins and terms that you write with. I'm sure they have vases. I'm sure they have maybe even wallpaper. I mean, the ciphers, the titles must be plastered on freaking everything. And the thing is that it's not something they want to publicly make people aware of too much. It's something that they sort of want to keep just within the people who are, let's say, allowed into their home. And what that tells me is that it is a status thing for them. It's not because they feel respect for the monarchy, the titles they were given, and what that means for the history of the country. Oh, no, 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 no. It is so every time Marcus Anderson, her friend, is it Katie? Honestly, my brain's kind of foggy with the allergies. Abigail, Serena Williams. Anytime anybody more accomplished than them walks into their home, Ted Sarandos, even the Beckham kids or whatever, they're constantly plastered with the heirs of royalty to remind you that Harry and Meghan are royals. Don't you dare forget. They are royalty with a capital R, you know? And like, does that not seem really, like, kind of gross? Because Meghan, in her personal writings to her friends, says with her the compliments of Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, which she's not even supposed to use her HRH. Now they kind of bypass that by saying, "Oh, we weren't supposed to use it in commercial endeavor, but we're gonna use it privately too." I mean, think about that. Meghan is trying to be more formal with her friends than with the public, which tells me that Meghan is demanding people call her ma'am if you work for her. The Duchess of Sussex, your Royal Highness, your Highness, whatever. I'm sure behind the scenes, she is making those type of demands. We've heard that about the Invictus Games. I firmly believe it's with her staff as well. I'm sure they constantly bombard people with that, which is probably why they're having a tough time getting people to come over to their house because nobody wants to be constantly plastered with this idea that you're royalty. Catherine and William don't have to do that. Yes, they live on the grounds of Windsor, but I imagine if you walk into their home, it's a home. It's not something where there are crowns everywhere reminding you, oh my gosh, he's going to be the future king. Because William's not that insecure. And I don't think Catherine's that's insecure either. They don't even have to be. They are royals. They are future monarchs. They don't have to constantly be shoving it down your face. And this is the biggest issue with the titles. And this is why Harry and Meghan won't stop obsessing over them. The two of them have nothing else but those titles. They are massively insecure and they know they are nothing without them. Meghan, yes, may try sharing all of her gift wrapping techniques, even though you can find play the exact same thing Meghan Markle is doing on like a dozen YouTube channels, at least, if not thousands of videos. The same gift wrapping techniques she is going to share with you on her show. She wants you to think she's better than them simply because, oh, I'm the Duchess of Sussex. That's not how this works. You know, people like royals because they straddle this very careful divide between excess and access. Royals need to be royal. They need to be able to wear tiaras. They need to be a little bit, let's say, over the top. But the challenge for royals is as well is that they need to be able to meet you. And yes, maybe you curtsy, maybe you say your royal highness or something like that. But after maybe you get to know them for a bit, maybe after you're discussing, somebody like Queen Mary of Denmark will go, "Oh, just call me Mary. That's fine." You know, don't go "Your Majesty" and bow and curtsy and do all these sorts of things. I personally believe probably Harry and Meghan's staff curtsy and bow to them. I would not be surprised if that's what they demand to work with them. And the reason is because they don't have any self-assurance, so they have to lord it over people. Confident people don't need to shove it down your face that they're royalty. They just are. And Catherine and William, I have no doubt their staff are on a first name basis with them. Yes, maybe they start off doing ma'am, your royal highness or whatever, but after they get to know them quite a bit, I'm sure the trappings fall away and a more natural relationship remains. One that's still built on respect, one that's still built on the respect of the institution they represent, but one that's not lorded over them. I'm better than you because of a royal title. Because the thing is, if royals lord it over you, going, "Oh, I'm better, I'm the queen, I'm the king," nobody will like them. That'll immediately turn people off. And I feel like that's what Meghan does by having everything. And I'm sure, guys, it is a lot more that we don't know. Always monogrammed. Duchess of Sussex, Duchess of Sussex, Duchess of Sussex. Her royal cipher on everything. Unnecessary things. Especially, which is so ridiculous, is that she left voluntarily, thought she was better, and yet she still can't get enough of royalty. And all it reminds me is she has nothing else but royalty. She has yet to prove she has a viable business, any particular talent, really anything. You just have to listen to that Fortune interview she did yesterday. 20 minutes of gibberish of somebody who clearly does not know her business, who is feigning like humility and weird things and like, oh my gosh, I have to order so much stock. How do we manage this? I don't know. You just do. In trying to literally create a podcast, she mentioned this because she likes the podcast How I Built This. And so she wanted to emulate that with Confessions of a Female Founder, even though the woman hadn't built anything yet. And if Meghan is just relying on her title, I don't think she'll really end up building much either, because she needs to be more than a mediocre talent with a title, because that title got her in the door. It got them, granted, quite a bit of money, but they're now on a first look deal with Netflix. And that means Netflix is not going to bite as much. And I don't think they're biting much anyways. The entire industry they're in is contracting and collapsing. And Harry and Meghan, unfortunately, I think will be casualties of that because neither one of them have a creative brain cell to rub together. And if Meghan had focused more on creativity, more on her products, more on her brands and everything, rather than focusing so much on royalty, she might have been much more successful. It's her obsession with that title that has killed her career. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you again soon. Bye.